What up, everyone? Already back with another reaction vid. This time I'm doing the Death Battle reaction the day of because I've been super excited for this one. Yeah, Zelda and Castlevania. I'm old school, baby. Early 80s. I was there when it began. In fact, this is the same Legend of Zelda cart I got when I was a kid. I've hung on to it all this time. This isn't the Castlevania card I first played because I rented that. But I picked up my own cart years later. But yeah, I was big Zelda fan. I even adored that cartoon. Still do, in fact. It's not as good as, well, Netflix Castlevania or Sonic SatAM, but I think it's held up well, but I'm kind of behind on my Zelda. I never finished Spirit Tracks, and I gotta get Skyward Sword. That's how far behind I am, but I have played just about every Castlevania in the old timeline, minus some of the weird remakes like the MSX one and shit. But yeah, even though I got into Zelda before Castlevania, I'm rooting for Dracula. Oh my gosh, whip it! Whip it good! So let's just get started. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
Watch out! The bald spots
Ooh.
could be coming soon, but we've got the prime solution. Hims is the one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and sexual wellness for men.
Hims connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. It's real easy to get started.
Get started with the
I
Hims
think I'm gonna
Complete
need that
Hair Kit
soon.
For just $5.
Just
but
saying.
While supplies last, it's subject to doctor approval. See website for full details and safety information. This could cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy somewhere else.
Go to forhims.com/deathbattle. That's
Okay.
forhims.com/deathbattle. forhims.com/deathbattle.
Yeah. I'll look into it later. For now, rooster teeth. You know, birds, I think they do have the genes for teeth, but they just aren't expressed. Like,
Fame may be fleeting and wealth ephemeral, but true evil never dies.
It just comes back with a goddamn second health bar.
Ganondorf, the calamitous demon king of Princess Zelda's Hyrule.
And Dracula, the everlasting Lord of Castlevania. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Millennia ago, in an age long past, the Demon King Demise threatened to pull the world into blood and war.
oh great, that's right,
Until
because
he
I'm
got
not up
his
on
ass
Zelda, I'm
slapped
about
by
to get it
his
spoiled
pointy-eyed
for
boy in
me.
green.
Shit.
Undaunted by being, murdered, Demise cursed the blood of the goddess and the spirit of the hero to be forever haunted by his wrath made flesh. That curse became Ganondorf Dragmire.
Good old Dorf was born to the
Okay.
Gerudo tribe of the desert.
I
That
heard
means the
of
Gerudo were all
Demise
ladies, and
before.
Ganondorf
It's like
was the
reading some
first
stuff
male born in
online,
100 years,
stuff friends
which
posted,
automatically made him
so...
their king.
Okay, not that much
Because
has been spoiled for
reasons,
me.
I guess? Wait, so he gets to be in charge and has the best odds on Tinder? That's my dream come true. Who could want more?
Ganondorf could. Jealous of the neighboring kingdom of Hyrule's verdant fields, clean water, and not being a godforsaken desert, he dreamed of
Yeah,
a
we had
better
to
world for
wait till
his
Wind
people.
Waker before
Or,
we
you
got
know,
like a
just for
motive
himself.
beyond just
Being
being
the
a
reincarnation
one-dimensional
of ultimate evil
asshole.
means you're probably kind of a selfish douche.
And surprisingly,
Yeah, I
his
know.
vile ambitions would be rewarded.
That was about-
Turns out he was also preternaturally adept at
17
magic,
years.
as befits an
I wonder if it
education
took that
from his
long
caretakers,
for, in the
witches
comics,
Gurume
for
and Kotare.
Magneto to
From
get the
them,
motive
Dorf
of being
learned to pitch balls
a
of
Holocaust
electricity,
survivor,
summon
you know?
lightning, move objects with telekinesis,
I forget what year Chris
levitate,
Claremont
form
dropped that
barriers,
tidbit.
and control minds.
When he wishes to fight from a distance, he can create phantom horsemen or puppets of himself to battle as his proxies.
Or if he wants to get personal, he can use his dark magic to enhance his physical strikes, making him a badass at all ranges.
I'm gonna show.
He's
Have they
a
shown him from
master with a
Hyrule
blade,
Warriors yet?
Sometimes two, and sometimes on horseback.
And sometimes two swords
I
on
mean,
two
the parts where you
horseback?
play as him in
Oh, let's not get crazy.
Hyrule Warriors
He
is part of the
was just a
story. It
man,
reminded me of that
after all,
one level
though
where he plays
not for
Megatron
long.
in
With his
Fall
magical
of
training
Cybertribe,
complete,
where
Ganondorf
everyone is
put
just
his
scared
great skill to
shitless
the
of
test.
you.
His
It's like drives
raw
home how
cunning
you just don't
manipulated
fuck
the
with
rulers of
Ganondorf.
Hyrule and its neighboring domains, as well as a curiously familiar boy in green.
Hey, what do you know? Weird coincidence.
Ganondorf gained entry to an alternate dimension called the Sacred Realm. Within it lay the Triforce, a magical artifact left by the gods said to grant the wish of whomever touches it.
The perfect solution to all your world-conquering needs. Except once Ganondorf got his hands on those golden Doritos, 2 of them jumped ship.
See, only someone with
Oh,
a
that reminds
perfect
me. While I
balance
was
of
in New
courage,
York
wisdom,
City,
and
I picked up
power
the
can
manga
wield
for A
the
Link to the
complete
Past.
Triforce.
In
If
fact, it's
someone with
in
an
that
imbalance
cabinet,
between
and I
those
still
three
gotta
virtues
read
touches
it.
it splits. In this case, the pieces of wisdom and courage went to Ganondorf's
But they didn't
enemies,
have
Princess Zelda and
the one for
hero
Link's
Link.
Awakening. I really
That's
wanted to read that one
embarrassing,
because
but he
it
did get to keep
showed
the
how
Triforce of power, because who
how it was
needs the
taking a
courage and
psychological
wisdom
toll
shit
what
when you can
Link would
just
have to
blow stuff
eventually
up?
do to get off
So I
Koholint
don't-
Island.
Even on its own, the Triforce of Power radically improved Ganondorf's strength and magical prowess, while also elevating him from a mere warlock to the Demon King he was always meant to be.
Okay, I think that was from
Literally,
Hyrule
he
Warriors.
can turn into a big blue pig monster.
The Dark Beast, known simply as Ganon, is a nearly unstoppable terror, gaining even greater strength without sacrificing any of his intellect.
As a bacon wizard, he can obliterate foes with
Bacon
fireballs,
wizard, that's a
turn
new
invisible,
one.
Teleport, summon darkness, and even distort the space around him.
Despite all that
Power
power,
Pig's
and
always
even
gotta be the
successfully
bad
ruling
guy, you
Hyrule
know?
for
I mean, the
7
only
years,
good pig I can think of at the
Ganondorf
moment was
soundly defeated and
your
sealed within
uncle
the sacred
or
realm.
whatever in
There
Beyond Good and
he
Evil.
remained,
Remember
trapped
that?
outside the
A
spaces
decent
of reality,
Zelda-ish
a
adventure?
prisoner to the void between space and time, never to return ever again.
Sorry. I couldn't keep a straight face.
Yeah, no, he got out like the next day.
So nothing holds Ganon back for long, and he's insanely tough to kill. In fact, thanks to his part of the Triforce, he's almost indestructible. While most weapons can technically harm him, it usually takes a holy weapon like the Master Sword or light arrows to put him down.
He once
yeah.
survived being crushed within his own castle, which
could
based on
mean
its size
Dracula's
and
at a
composition
disadvantage,
and
but
accounting for the hollowed-out
he's got
interior,
servants in
should
his
weigh
castle
over
that
11,000
have holy
tons.
attacks.
Even better, he later withstood a different
I mean, like
castle
the holy
exploding
armor
around
in
him.
Circle of the Moon,
This
so
guy in castle.
perhaps
By
he could
measuring
still
the
wield
size
holy
of the
power
in-game
himself, I don't
castle
know.
model and assuming violent fragmentation, we can determine it was a blast worth almost 2 kilotons of TNT, a yield comparable to early atomic bombs. And even though holy weapons can bypass his defenses, he still survived being stabbed in the face with the Master Sword. You know, the literal blade of evil's bane.
Or like when he was
Yeah,
impaled through the
this is
chest
what I
by
was
one of
afraid
the
of. Drax
sages
gonna be at a
after he was supposedly
disadvantage.
sealed away. He just yanked that shit right out and murdered the bastards that did it to him. Heads up, Wiz, you ever stab me again and that's what's happening to you.
Right. Well, Ganondorf isn't just tough. He's powerful enough to punch shockwaves, tear up an island, and block out the sky with his magical malice.
Plus, he can keep up with Link. He's even killed him in one timeline. And this fairy boy can dodge Beamos lasers.
Which are literal lasers. They move in a straight line, burn instead of exploding, and according to the game's guidebook, are called lasers. So they should move at light speed. Based on the distance Link moved relative to this beam, we can estimate his own reaction speed to be about 11% the speed of light.
Too bad old Dorf Lundgren doesn't get to hold on to Hyrule for too long. Still, you can stab and seal him away all you want. This big pork bastard will always be back to bring about your crispy demise.
Yeah, but the ending text in Link to the Past said that you obliterated Ganon, completely destroyed him, but then again, he was sort of resurrected
In the world of Castlevania,
in the Oracle
the
games,
universe
which
is
are
governed
kind of
by
right
two
after that,
opposing forces.
and
Order
and Link Link's
chaos.
Awakening.
Hey,
Oh,
it's
never
like
mind.
you
Here
and
comes
me,
the
Wiz.
Castlevania
No,
part.
I mean literally.
Yeah, Rondo of
As
Blood.
legend goes, for God to be good, there must be an equal force of evil to create balance. An evil found in an alternate dimension called the Chaotic Realm. This is chaos.
But to keep his spot in the balance on Earth, Chaos needed to choose a Dark Lord to represent him. A Dark Messiah, if you will. As luck would have it, a perfect candidate would end up choosing him.
In the 11th century, Matthias Kronkvist was the strategic mastermind behind a company of knights, alongside fellow commander and best friend, Leon Belmont.
But as with most bromances, it got screwed up by a homance.
Boomstick, have some tact. His wife died from a horrible illness.
Was it third wheeling? I'm sorry, Wiz, but you can already tell this guy is evil because his name is Math. I mean, I know we use math all the time to do this show, but sometimes one must embrace the darkness to see the light.
Right. Anyway, Matthias's grief was so intense, he swore vengeance on God himself. To achieve his vengeance, Matthias sought the powers of God's polar opposite, chaos.
So he set up an easy 6-step plan. Step 1. Pick up a red rock called the Crimson Stone. It'll be important later. Step 2. Force death itself to become your personal secretary. Step 3. Kill Luigi. Step 4. Convince a vampire named Walter to kill Leon's fiancée, cause misery loves company. Step 5. Let Leon murder poor Walt and have death shove his soul into that red rock. Step 6. Congratulations! You are now a vampire. Goth kids, I hope you were paying attention.
From that day forth, Matthias rejected his humanity.
No, he puts it
became
that
a
way. It
vampire
was kind of
and much
screwy.
more. He was the Dark Lord, Dracula.
A lot
Yeah.
of different versions of Dracula over the years, but this one isn't your run-of-the-mill "I want to suck your blood" type.
Oh,
This
no,
Dracula
he's not.
is the avatar of chaos on Earth, the opposite to God. So, like the devil. He's basically the devil.
He didn't have much time to enjoy his new powers, though, as his former friend Leon swore revenge, a vow which would carry on throughout generations.
But good luck taking down this all-new and improved vampire lord. He's got your standard vampire loadout like blood-sucking, flight, razor-sharp claws, telekinesis, and even tripping balls teleportation.
He can also exert his influence over all living things, whether it be mind control, body possession, or absorbing the souls and abilities of fallen enemies through his power of dominance.
Oh, like Kirby.
A demonic monster, Kirby.
Right, Kirby. Also, Dracula can shapeshift to his black heart's desire, like into a swarm of bats, a cloud of mist, and a wolf. Oh, I get it. The opposite to God, cause he's a dog just like the way Alucard is Dracula backwards. God, I should do science.
He's also a master sorcerer, able to summon fireballs, meteors, and acid blood rain from the sky. Dark Inferno is a huge ball of magma that will fry anything in its path, and he can revitalize himself with another life
Oh, they're
energy
using
via
shit
soul
from
steam.
Dracula X
Then
on the
there's
Super
his most
NES.
powerful attack.
That's
a
bullshit.
localized nuke of holy magic, the demonic Megiddo.
With all these powers, it's no wonder Europe trembled at his presence for centuries, though perhaps their fears were unfounded.
Yeah, despite being living chaos or whatever, Dracula was sometimes a pretty chill guy. He even got himself married and had a kid. Then again, kids are also the embodiment of chaos.
Sadly, the people of a nearby church grew suspect of his wife, accusing her of witchcraft. So they burned her at the stake, and Dracula swore vengeance upon the god they followed as...
Wait. Did he just get a total repeat of his backstory? Man, this guy can't catch a break.
He was even forced to battle multiple descendants of Belmont, many of whom would actually defeat him.
Well, sort of. Turns out Dracula is a much tougher vampire to kill than lame old Walter.
Even after losing his entire body, Dracula's soul remained tethered to chaos. Thus, he would be resurrected every 100 years.
When he wants to go all out, he can draw from the power of the chaotic realm and transform into one of many awesome monsters. Like a giant demon bird, a giant demon head, and a giant demon head in a painting that vomits out bats.
Dracula can punch hard enough to rend stone, move quick enough to catch arrows out of thin air, and even warp the fabric of reality itself.
He's tough
Castlevania
enough to survive a
Bloodlines.
lightning strike, get blasted
Oh, yeah, the
by an
IDW
enormous
comic.
meteor, and even
Yeah, I
get
know my
crushed
shit.
under the weight of his fortress, aka the Castlevania.
By measuring the size of Castlevania on the game's official art, we know it should weigh around
Oh, you're
2
using from one of the
million
shittiest
tons.
Castlevania
Even
games?
then, Dracula has regenerated his body from decapitation, a mess of blood, and even full-on disintegration.
So how the hell does he keep getting killed by everyone from Discount Conan to the Ghost of Weeb's Past?
Naturally, with the help of holy weapons, which Dracula is certainly not a fan of.
Also, even when he's turned his body into some misty vape clouds, he keeps his head vulnerable. Because video games.
Or more precisely, his hubris. Dracula's blatant arrogance would lead to his ultimate downfall, allowing his enemies to sever his connection to the chaotic realm and thus end his cycle of resurrection.
Well, they can't really show what happened in
So instead,
1999 because that's
he
never
was
been
reincarnated
depicted in the game.
Into a white-haired anime boy with the power of friendship. Soma Cruz, who turned out to be just as powerful as Dracula Classic, like when he dodged beams of light or when he defeated chaos itself.
Dracula's influence and power would never truly end. Even 10,000 years into the future, his bloodline continues to strike terror into the hearts of men. As long as good and evil exist,
Hold up, that's his kid? What the hell happened to him?
no ordinary man can stand up to the incredible force that is the Dark Lord Dracula.
Behold my true form and despair!
Personally, I thought my favorite
All right, the
fights with him were
combatants are set.
Portrait and
We've run the data
Ecclesia,
through
because
all
Portrait it was like the whole
But first, all this
2-on-2
talk of
thing, and
eggs
Ecclesia,
bacon has
he
made
didn't
me
even
hungry
transform into
for
a big
Blue
old monster or
Apron.
anything. He just starts
By now, you've
mocking
probably
the
heard
Belmont
of Blue Apron,
Pimpstra and
the
just
leading
walks
meal
around,
kit
just
delivery
tries to
service
just
in the US.
kick you
Choose
and
your
just...
meals each week, get the
it was
ingredients
awesome.
delivered to your doorstep, and whip up a meal using the easy to
Oh,
follow
they're still
directions
doing the Blue
provided.
Apron
Blue
shit.
Apron offers 3 flexible plans, whether it be meals for 2, for 4, or the WW Freestyle plan. You have control over which meals you receive each week, and each delivery comes with easy-to-follow cooking instructions and all the ingredients you need. So say goodbye to those last-minute dashes to the grocery store. With Blue Apron's seasonally inspired and chef-curated recipes, you're not just making meals, you're making memories.
My favorite part is feeling like a master chef, making creative and delicious meals with my own hands. You guys really need to try it out.
It's pretty nice coming home knowing I'll have a delicious meal I can whip up with ease. And as a thanks to you for watching this show, we have a deal you'd be crazy to say no to start making delicious, brag-worthy meals at home without the hassle, try Blue Apron.
Check out this week's menu and get $60 off at blueapron.com/battle.
Just
Blueapron.com
enough.
/battle.
Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
But right now, it's time for a death battle!
Alright, been waiting for this. Oh, it takes place in Castlevania. And Ganondorf just easily, zup bro, just gonna mosey on in.
Your castle is lost, vampire. No man can challenge my power.
But what is a man?
Of course.
A little pile of secrets.
Okay, you gotta go with that line.
I'm no mere man.
Ganondorf is more of a brute, while Dracula, he was a tactician originally, so... Here we go! Come on, Drac, kick his ass!
Your tricks mean nothing.
Oh, that's right, he's got his... He's in Castlevania, so he can summon his minions. And some of his minions do have holy power. I don't think that's gonna work with this vampire. It's like, fuck you, pig boy.
Behold the true power.
Come on. Come on, Dracula, don't sell that shit. Yeah, that's right. Fuck him up! Fuck him up! Come on, that can't be all you got, Drac.
I am no simple vampire. I am a god.
It couldn't have been that easy. This is Ganondorf. They like to fake you out. I mean, they did last time with Hiei and...
You're not a man. You're a pig. Let me hear you squeal.
Knew it. Shit. Or... Yeah! Dracula wins!
You know, I hope someday I can learn to drink beers as violently as Dracula drinks people.
There was a lot going on here. Both Ganondorf and Dracula show similar reaction speeds, with only a small % difference when compared to the speed of light. They were both brilliant schemers who have perfectly manipulated many intelligent foes, and their standard magical arsenals seem pretty comparable overall.
But Dracula did have a leg up with a few extra magic powers that Ganondorf just didn't have. Like how he could rip out his soul in a bunch of different ways. That's something Ganondorf never really had to guard against before. Also, remember how Ganondorf survived an explosion worth about 2 kilotons of TNT?
An admirable feat to be sure, but let's look at that meteor strike Dracula survived. Based on its size, composition, and speed of ablation, it must have struck with an energy equivalent to 2 megatons of TNT, 1,000 times greater than Ganondorf's proven durability.
But hey, I know what you're thinking. What about that sage sword Ganondorf had? Shouldn't he have had an easy time killing Drac since it's a holy weapon?
In some circumstances, sure. Running this fight over and over 100 times, Ganondorf would certainly score a few victories. But when considering Dracula's absurd regenerative abilities, it would take more than just a few hits from a holy weapon to finish him off. Not to mention, Dracula
Anyone
also
who's played a
wielded
Castlevania
holy
game knows
weapons
that.
to advantage of
I mean,
Ganondorf's
just the
weakness
original,
in the
you gotta hit
form
him
of demonic Megiddo.
more than
Yeah, I know
32
it's called
times
demonic,
and
so it seems
spanning
weird, but it
both
is explicitly
forms.
described to be holy magic.
And dropping a holy nuke on Ganondorf was a way more powerful victory move than trying to hit Dracula with a sword. And that's really what this came down to. Power.
Despite literally wielding the Triforce of Power, Ganondorf's potential paled in comparison to the energy Dracula drew from Chaos. Let's put this in perspective.
The Triforce of Power comes from the goddess Din, who made the Earth. While we don't know the exact amount of power Din put in this piece, let's just highball it and directly compare it to her.
So the energy attributed to the Triforce of Power could be compared to the size and energy of a planet. However, the Chaotic Realm is an entire universe, completely upheld by the power of the Chaos entity. That is leagues greater than the power Ganondorf possessed.
So it definitely had a
Okay.
lot more juice to give.
Try thinking of the Chaotic Realm and the Triforce of Power as batteries, which fuel Dracula and Ganon's abilities. Compared to each other, Dracula would be drawing energy from something like a car battery, while Ganondorf's would be more akin to a small AA.
Wiz, I'll give you $5 if you lick that battery.
Ganondorf certainly held his own, but Dracula's more varied magic, greater regeneration, and enormous reserves of power sealed this desert warlock's fate.
My man
Oh,
won!
that must
All the
have
reactions
sucked.
I've done so
The big
far, I'm
pig's
still
chances
lament
were slim
the destruction of the
to
Dragon
get
Sword,
done.
but
The winner
Hiei,
is
Dracula, and... Oh, never mind the Green Lantern.
You
It's
know
like
we
that
got a
Ben
card
10
and
Green
dice
Lantern
dueling
matchup is
game.
still
Choose
being
your weapons, armor,
disputed,
and
so
skills before
let's just
diving
kind of
into the
forget
fight
about
of your
that one.
life.
Just don't eat the dice.
It's like
They look
2.5
like candy. They're
out of
not.
4.
Click the link below
Yeah.
to get the Death
Okay.
Battle game right now.
Okay, next time, what do we got? Who? I have no idea who they are.